Thanks for joining us today for the university's information session, Reimagining the MBA and Master of Management. I'm Debbie Giacconi, and I'll be the moderator today. I'll introduce the presenters in a minute, but first let me go over a few housekeeping items. Please be aware that the webinar is being recorded and all the attendees are muted. If you have any questions during the session, put them in the chat box, and I promise we'll get to them answered at the end of the presentation. We also need to make note of a few states that do not participate with National American University. Unfortunately, we cannot enroll students who live in the states highlighted in red in the next slide. It's unfortunate, but we apologize for any inconvenience and we hope you'll understand. And now let me introduce our presenters. Dr. Cindy Mathena is Provost and Chief Academic Officer at NAU. She specializes in educational technology and for 25 years has devoted her career to leadership in education and innovation. And Dr. Benjamin Straight is an Associate Dean and Director of Online Education at NAU. He is a commissioned Kentucky Colonel and has taught for 13 years. He also maintains a law practice specializing in criminal defense, prosecution, family law, and contracts. And with that, I'll hand it over to Dr. Mathena and she can get us started.
All righty, thank you everybody. We are thrilled to be here today to discuss what we're calling our reimagined Master of Business Administration and our reimagined Master of Management, both which we are also noting are accelerated in nature. And we'll get into the details around what makes those accelerated. But the first thing I want to cover with you today is that we hope to accomplish a few things while we're all here. And those 4 items are that we're going to discuss how we think this reimagined experience in your master's level education works and how it is a new way of learning. We're going to talk about how a master's degree might help you advance your career. We're going to take a look at some critical skill sets that we think are important for every master's level student and graduate. And then finally, we're going to talk specifically about how this accelerated format works and how courses can be completed in 5.5 weeks. If you're not familiar with the National American University, here's just a few facts about us. We're very proud to have a mission that emphasizes individuals of diverse backgrounds, cultures, and abilities. And our mission emphasizes the preparation of those people for success in competitive, technical, and professional fields. We've been doing this for a long time. We're celebrating our 80th anniversary this year. So in doing so, we've been providing online education for many, many years, longer than most. We didn't just start doing it as a result of the pandemic. We're actually have been online for 25 years in some way, shape, or form. And so that proud legacy is what we think has the ability to change lives. We believe in the education that we're providing, and we are changing lives as we see our alumni graduate and move on. What we do know, and we've done quite a bit of research when we thought about reimagining what an MBA or a Master of Management experience might look like, we did some research and we looked at what employers and leaders were saying the missing skill sets were and where those gaps were. And 2 things that were noted in the research are that students who go through a typical MBA or MM program were graduating and going to work and really had a gap with their data skills and the analysis around looking at data and trying to determine what it means. In addition to that, leaders noted that graduates often missed those soft skills. Soft skills we'll go into here in a minute, but soft skills are the things that you might not be able to easily teach in a classroom, but are important. So NAU's programs provide both of those things plus more. And we do that with a shortened course format. Most of the courses, we'll discuss how this works in a schedule format, but most of the courses can be completed in 5.5 weeks. It's a very streamlined approach. It gets you to the end as quickly as possible because we know that's what you're interested in doing, is learning as much as possible in the shortest streamlined approach to graduation. We have hired and work with renowned faculty who have been leaders or are leaders in their fields all over the United States. And we believe strongly that those faculty care about the students and they are there to not only provide their expertise, but they're veteran educators and they know how to work with students. These degrees are what we believe will future-proof your coursework by creating a digital portfolio, which will provide you with evidence of your degree that an employer can look at and can find meaning from. And so we're going to go over that in a second as well. All right, so when I touched on the critical skill set and I talked about some softer skills, these are the things that came out in the research. Leaders and employers are looking for people who have a business sense, if you will, that they have writing skills, they know how to do research, they can read and synthesize information. I won't go over each and every one of these bullets, but what I want to emphasize is that when we learn this and we look at it, we thought about how we could best prepare our students in these areas. So we developed assignments around these specific skill sets. So for example, Dr. Straight is going to walk you through some examples of an online course, and you might see a case study or something where the student is asked to kind of put together research, think about how they might develop a business plan, put that into action, look at the data, and form opinions and plans about how to proceed. These are the skills, and being able to communicate things like that and work with a team. These are all the skills that we've tried to build into these programs. It will be of no surprise to you that earning a master's degree, either an MBA or a master's in management, will assist you in achieving your goals, whether those be to make more money, to get a different job, to get a promotion. And so it will be no surprise that people with higher level degree credentials, like a master's or even a doctoral degree, make more money. And this chart on the left in the blue clearly outlines the average pay by week and how it increases with more degree or credentials to your name. And that equates to more education. Likewise, corollary to that is that the unemployment rate also decreases with the more education a person receives or achieves. So somebody with a less than high school diploma is more likely to be unemployed versus somebody with a master's degree. And you can see that in the chart on the right. We have alumni that have graduated from our current MBA and Master of Management programs who have gone on to let us know that they have either been promoted, that they have a new job, or that they have succeeded in some way in their current jobs. And the types of titles they tell us about include things like management, program coordinators, directors, business owners, directors of an HR program, maybe top executives, management analysis, market researcher. These are some of the titles that our alumni have shared with us, that the areas that they're working in as a result of having achieved a master's degree with us. All right, so the nuts and bolts of the program, if you will, and in this reimagined experience where you can complete your master's degree in a method and schedule that makes sense for your life. These courses are 5.5 weeks in length, the majority of them. There is one course that's 11 weeks, but the rest are all 5.5 weeks. So you're very focused on one topic for shorter periods of time. In accelerating the course experience, we've moved away from what we call the traditional read, view, post, and respond model. So if you've taken any online courses at all up until now, you might have found yourself reading or looking at information or viewing a video and then posting a bulletin board response or assignment, and then having to respond to a colleague. And that all takes place usually on a weekly basis from Wednesday through Sunday. And it's a very common model you'll see in almost all universities who provide online education. So we kind of took that, we scrapped it, we said, what's most relevant for these students in that 5.5-week experience? And so we moved them from, with the big picture in mind, at the end of the 5.5 weeks, we want you to be able to do X. So if X is, we want you to be able to look at data and make informed decisions about it, then your assignments throughout those 5.5 weeks are going to build into one large, big assignment or experience that occurs at the end of the course. We, in this way, are kind of taking away some of the bulletin board type work that goes on in the course and really focusing more on the authentic assignment that's employment ready. It's relevant to your workplace or the place that you would like to be. In its entirety, the degree would last 12 months. You would have 4 terms of work, and I will go over the specifics of that a little bit later. And we believe that when we look at our competitors and what other people are charging for similar degrees, that $25,000 is a very affordable cost. We have researched this. We do believe that we are at the lower end of the price point. So we think you're getting a great deal for what you will receive in terms of education. We have also taken out the textbooks. We've embedded the course materials or resource materials into the course, so you don't have to physically go out and find your textbooks. There are no prerequisites, so you can start without having had specific finance courses, for example. We do, of course, require a bachelor's degree, but beyond that, we are looking to take all different kinds of leaders. You submit your assignments many times more than once so that you can get the benefit of feedback from your faculty member as you move through that 5.5-week period. We've provided course checklists at the beginning of a course, which assist a student in staying focused on what comes next. Ben's going to talk more about that. We use audio and video as well as readings to help assimilate all of the work or the information into something that makes sense for you. And again, the assignments are very focused on real life scenarios that occur in a business world. Next slide, please. All right, I'm gonna now ask my colleague, Dr. Straight, to walk you through some of the unique course design features.
Thank you, Dr. Messina. And I'm going to show you one of the courses in the program. It's titled EC 6150A, which is Managerial Economics. A key user feature is the ability to submit all graded coursework on the course landing page, as you see here with the red tiles that switch to blue when scrolled over. And the student clicks on the tile to submit the assignment. There's no confusion. You will always know precisely where to submit graded work because it's the only place to submit graded work. And the intent is for every MBA and MM student to complete a digital portfolio, which I will discuss more later. But for now, let's watch a 2-minute video discussing how assignments and projects are based in real world and real life business practices. Course is focused on authenticity, which is the buzzword for real-world application. This was and will continue to be my primary driving intent. I tell my students literally, how does every sentence you write for content, how does any reading selected, any link, or course theory relate to a real-world practice? What is that task, practice, procedure, etc.? This real-world theory of practice application is then communicated to the student. So, for example, interview lesson 4, case study directions. It is the first of 3 graded case studies. And the directions, authentic assessment, will respond, and then follows a summary of how the activity relates to the real world. So here is the lesson 4 case study calls upon the student to estimate demand for gym memberships. In real world practice, a gym manager might be tasked with analyzing data from different trials, which is different in price, time, free, renewal price, etc. So that second sentence is key. And making that link between theory and course content to real world practice. So the 3 case studies for this course will be compiled and uploaded to the student's digital portfolio. Every course will have an authentic component with the exception of MA 6600.
Dr. Straight, since we were not able to hear that very well, can you just do a brief summary of what you just went over?
Oh, I apologize. I must not have clicked the share recording sound. Well, to go back to the course here, again, you can submit everything on the course landing page. But of note, every assignment is based in a real world business practice or activity. So for example, here in lesson 6, the lesson 6 case study directions, it's based in a real world practice. So in this case study, the management of Easy Loan Bank is interested in offering corporate fitness programs to its employees. And then there's a scenario and then a table where the student will evaluate and solve what would be a real world business practice or scenario. And it's the same thing in lesson 4 for the lesson 4 case study directions. Students are asked to estimate demand for gym memberships, which is something that would be done in real world practice as well. And speaking of the digital portfolio, which has been mentioned numerous times throughout this presentation, it's the penultimate goal to program graduation. The MBA and MM program students are required to create this because it's essential for today's working MBA and MM, as the digital space has increasingly become our only means to make a first impression. And so you control this first impression by creating, maintaining, and promoting your digital portfolio. And I'm recommending Wix because it's intuitive, easy to use, and is external to NAU. So the student may carry it forward, continue to curate it as their career progresses. And let me show you an example of what I created here in about 45 minutes. Now, users can add hyperlinks to personal websites, can add social media toggles, can start a blog. Users get a personalized email that matches the website, domain, and brand. And there are numerous options for designs, formatting, and layout. And the good news is that someone like me who has zero experience in web design or layout can intuit how to create this digital portfolio in 45 minutes. And completing real-world business practice assignments and projects, along with creating and maintaining your digital portfolio, are a few skills necessary for the next generation of MBA and MM leaders. And Dr. Mathina will now discuss the additional skills developed in your course of study. So Dr. Mathina, I will now move on to the next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Straight. One of the things you can always expect at NAU is that we care about the students, and you'll see that in a variety of ways, but one of our signature hallmarks is the success team. We have a team of people devoted to a student's every need. And we call that our graduation team because their intent is to get you from beginning to end without any difficulties. And they're there to make your experience at NAU a much better one by helping you through the financial aid process, or helping you if you need extra resources, or perhaps you need additional help with writing. They're right there to kind of walk you through those things you might encounter. I would say the other hallmark of your experience would be the faculty. All of our faculty have been teaching online for many years, but they also have industry expertise. And their expertise actually spans a wide variety of both settings and knowledge. So they are there to help you understand the materials, to connect you with their networks if that's possible, and mostly to care for you during your experience. We have, in the reimagined version of this accelerated program, updated all the courses with very current and relevant curriculum. So you will find what we think are the skills needed to be successful out there right now. And in that process, you will find this ability to kind of personalize your experience. And that includes a collaboration with your classmates and your faculty, but to focus on things that are of interest to you. So in some of those assignments we talked about, you'll be building off of problems you've encountered in the workplace or challenges that you see that you may want to attempt to address or solve. And so we're always mindful that you may want to bring in some of your own personalization into the curriculum. And we do feel that this Master of Business Administration or Master of Management, both of these will lead you to a place where you can feel confident about your skills to lead in a variety of settings, but also help you to understand the newest and greatest research, emerging issues, organizational development, institutional transformation, change management, all of the things that are all businesses everywhere experiencing right now. And in doing so, the skills will enhance your comprehensive problem solving, will help you with your professional oral, behavioral, written, and listening skills that leaders need in this day and time. Help you to understand how to work with a team to build not only your own effective leadership, but the team around you skills, and to elicit stakeholder involvement in that process. You also learn how to create, curate, and monitor your digital portfolio, which becomes kind of your signature of sorts for displaying the knowledge, the skills, the projects, and the things you've completed in this degree. And so we call that future proofing, right? We're going to future proof your degree coursework. We are allowing this degree to be as flexible as possible to meet your needs. And this digital portfolio will allow you to demonstrate that to others. With the digital space kind of becoming the place where we are able to display our own achievements, but also to make first impressions. This is where you get to control that first impression and how you build that portfolio for future employers and others to see. And it allows you to, of course, showcase your professional knowledge, skills, and abilities from the very first assignment through the end of the degree. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the nature of the courses. So all of the courses are what we call asynchronous. You do not have to attend them during a certain time or scheduled meeting. You do have the opportunity to have one-on-one office hour sessions with your instructor, and you do have the option of meeting with them in that format, but no required synchronous sessions, if you will. We don't currently offer specializations in these two programs because they are so streamlined. You do have the opportunity to specialize after you finish, but during the time that you're in the program, that 1 year, you're going to be learning kind of what we see as the critical skills to become a leader. Typically, our courses have very small student to faculty ratios, so you won't see probably more than, I'd say, 10 in a course, but sometimes fewer, sometimes a few more. The entire program from beginning to end is 45 credits, 12 months as we discussed, fully online, and no residency or face-to-face attendance. You work with a group of students as you move through the model, the cohort model, as you will. And we do want you to know that this is an accredited program. Our accreditor is the Higher Learning Commission. The projects that you will work on are, as I've mentioned, kind of designed to help you showcase your skills, but also to assist you in developing areas of interest. We've already talked quite a bit about the digital portfolio, so we'll skip to the next slide. I believe this is probably one of the items that you're most interested in, which is the schedule. When you begin the MBA program, the accelerated MBA program, you begin by taking 3 courses your first term. And a term spans 11 weeks. And in that term, you take one course that spans the entire 11 weeks, and then you take two shorter courses. The 11-week course in this case is the quantitative methods for management decisions, starts at the same time as introduction to business communications. And then after the 5.5 weeks is completed, you jump into another course, which is managing organizations and leading people, for a total of 13.5 credits. And that is the term that most likely would be the most challenging because of this 11-week course, which we call a high touch course. It's basically a course that is known to be challenging, and it is derived from some very important skills that students need to know about how to analyze data. But the next two terms only include two courses. So you take a 5.5 week course, and then you finish it and take another 5.5 week course. You're only focused on one thing at a time. First, managerial economics, and then financial management. Same thing for term 3. And then in term 4, you're back to 3 courses. They're all 5.5 weeks. You learn about marketing, you learn about managerial accounting, and you learn about strategy and policy. So at the conclusion of the strategy and policy course, which is also where you will finalize your digital career portfolio, you would be finished and you would graduate with an MBA. The Master of Management works the same way. And in fact, many of the courses are the same as the MBA. So you take the 3 courses in this first term with the higher touch course offered first. Then you move into 2 courses for 2 terms. So accounting, international management in your second term, and then an HR course and a legal course in your third term. And then you're back to 3 courses with marketing, project management, and the same strategy and policy course we discussed for the MBA. So all of these completed in 12 months. We do believe that students who endeavor to be successful in these programs should have a little bit of time and experience under their belt. So we recommend someone be of 25 years or older. We recommend that they have a very strong GPA or cumulative GPA in their bachelor's degree, and that they have taken a statistics class. We also recommend that they have some working experience with a leadership or business role, that they desire to manage, that they have good organizational skills and time management skills, and that they have a professional attitude, because this is a lot of work for a year. It's compacted into a way that gets you to the end as quickly as possible, but it does take some good organizational skills and time commitment to get there. These are some vignettes or snapshots of some of our current alumni. This is Ashley, who graduated recently and is a career services associate at Texas State Technical College. She noted that the program was fairly short, faculty were helpful, and she was able to learn a lot from her classes that she was using in her career. In the next example, you have Carrie, who also graduated in the past couple of years with her Master of Management. She's a manager at IC Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she chose NAU because of its ethical values and outstanding professors who go above and beyond the call of duty. And then lastly, we have an alumni we're very proud of, Lawrence, who was the former chief of police in Marlin, Texas, when he achieved his Master of Management degree, and now is a business owner. He quotes that NAU gave him the opportunity to go to school and fulfill a dream that he had. And I know that you must have questions. I know that taking the next step towards your master's degree is a big one. It's a big step for everyone. But we're here to answer your questions. If you need more information, you can jot down these email addresses. Dr. Moore is the dean of this program, and Dr. Straight is the director of online education. So either of those folks would be able to help you further. And I will conclude with any questions that those who are in attendance might have, or any final comments that any of our team here might have.
So, Dr. Mathina, I do have a question. What is, oh, you've already covered this, I'm sorry. I have a different question. How would someone choose between the MBA and the Master of Management?
That's a great question. I think it takes some understanding of where you want to go with your degree, or where you currently are in the process of work and employment. If you are interested in understanding in an in-depth manner the finances, accounting, and managerial aspects of an organization, with more emphasis on the finance piece, then the MBA is probably the right degree for you. Typically, when you look at the resumes of folks who are leading large institutions, hospitals and schools and things of that nature, you will see that they have an MBA. If you are looking to focus more on your leadership skills and on leading people in a variety of different areas, then the Master of Management is probably the right degree for you.
Okay, and we do have another question. Do your students work full-time while taking the program?
Yes, they do. And I would say the majority of them work full-time while taking the program. It is doable. Most of our students, in fact, in all of our programs are working. The average age of our student is 36 years old.
Okay. And can you just say a few more words about the digital portfolio? Specifically, will we help students actually build the portfolio?
Dr. Straight?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And we've set up a support network. So when you enter the program, you'll be introduced to Wix and the basic concepts and the first steps during the first few weeks. And then throughout the program, its entirety, you'll have support from your faculty, but you will also have my personal support. And that if you're looking at something, if you need feedback, if there's an issue with formatting or layout, I look at those as challenges. And I want you to have the absolute best digital portfolio that you can. So you'll have a support network, and then I will also be there to help you on a personal basis whenever you email me during the program.
Okay, and if I already have a digital portfolio, do I need to create a new one?
You do not. You can use a portfolio that you have. When I was imagining and talking in focus groups to students and colleagues, and even those that are graduated, what's the best way to approach this? I truly didn't know, but I found Wix, and it's the easiest thing to do. And so I know that I've had plenty of students who come into graduate programs and they're incredibly smart at what they do, but they just never took the time to learn how to type on a keyboard, if you understand. So the beauty of Wix in this program is that you can walk in knowing nothing and then being able to advance and learn how to create and curate your portfolio. Or if you already have a portfolio built, you can just add to it. And what I would like about seeing students that already have a digital portfolio presence is that I'm going to be able to learn from that and get tips from you students that we can all benefit from.
Okay, I think we've reached the end of our questions. Does anyone have anything else? Any other questions? Okay. I just want to let you know that we will be sending out a recording of the session with a link to the YouTube video that Dr. Straight demonstrated earlier, so that you'll be able to see for yourself what the courses look like. And again, if you need any additional information, you can contact Dr. Moore or Dr. Straight. And I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us for the webinar today, and reach out for more information about any of our programs. And if you'd like to stay up to date with what's going on at NAU, you can certainly follow us on social media. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day.